Okay, welcome back everyone, Zaf here to a very juicy SLA video. As you know, we have a lot of brand new skill runes coming in, and as you can see, we're starting to unlock them. So, the question is, which ones are the best, which ones should you use, and which ones should you probably avoid? Honestly speaking, I do think each of these runes do have their place of being good and useful, but some of them are just better when it comes to damage or utility. So let me cover that with you so you know exactly what to use, because yeah, these runes are a nice addition to make Jinyu even better. That way he actually fits his manhwa role of being one of the most OP hunters that are out there. But also, really quick, don't forget to go to the link down below, support us on our mobile supporter program. It's free. When you support after a while, you will get codes sent to you directly. So just support, don't think, and you will get a bunch of free rewards sent directly to you. And also make sure you subscribe. Every subscriber does count. It means so much. It helps the channel grow, and it lets you pump out more content like this video right here. And finally, a big shout out to Zion from the first commenter on last video. Here is your shout out and enjoy that juicy Discord roll. So let's go ahead and jump into our codex. That way I can show you all the new skill runes, make them comparable at the legendary mark, and tell you which ones you should probably be using, because some of these are actually not too bad at all. So let's go to the codex, let's go to runes, there we go, and here are the 8 brand new skill runes we have. Only unlocked 1 legendary so far, because obviously unlocking legendaries isn't too easy. These are the ones I already have, almost there, looking at a full set very soon. Well, let's go back all the way to the top and start with this 4 set right here. So first off, we have Ice Strike. This is the only elemental version of this QTE skill right here. Deals water damage 1192%, and if the target is frozen, the damage dealt increases by 150%, so overall, a pretty darn good damage dealing skill. Not too crazy, don't get me wrong, these QTE skills are kind of weak. A lot of our regular skill runes just deal way too much damage, but still, it's a very nice addition to our kit, dealing more damage and also getting some interesting effects off. So this one, very good for water enemies and also for freezing the target. Next up, we have this one here, Squall. This deals medium break damage, so if you want to break the target, this is one of the best skills to use when it comes to QTEs. I believe it's the only one that provides medium break, yeah, only one. So this will be your go-to if you want to break the target, and also the corrosion effect is applied. Increases break effectiveness by 12%, 8-second duration. That does boost your break damage, so perfect. This is going to be one of our go-tos, especially because so many enemies do have a break counter. So make sure if you see a break gauge to use a skill rune to maximize your break output. So Ice Strike if they're weak to water, Squall if you want to break them, and also Extinction, here we go. This is a decent one, but I can't think of too many scenarios where we do want to decrease the target's attack. Maybe if you're a free play player and you're facing targets that deal way too much damage, you can go ahead and use a skill rune to minimize the damage you take, but overall I don't think it's a must. But don't get me wrong, if you're struggling, if you're taking too much damage, this is the one to use, but still, having a QTE skill that deals more damage or a QTE skill that deals break damage is probably going to be ideal. I don't see too much use being used out of this one right now. Maybe when Biru does come out, he'll one-shot us, so this will be the QTE skill to use. We'll have to see, but overall, this one's probably going to see the least use out of these 4. Just because the damage is low, and also this effect, yeah, not too useful right now, but you never know, in the future, that could obviously change. Next up, we have Overshadow. Overshadow is very interesting because at first glance, it seems to be one of the best skills in the game, period. Not because of the damage, because of this effect right here. When the user uses Overshadow, it consumes HP equal to 15% of their current HP and increases their skill damage by 200%. Whoa. Everyone calm down. I know, this seems like this boosts any of our skills damage by 200% forever, but no, that's not the case. We did go ahead and test it out, of course, because this shocked me. 200% at legendary, whoa, insane, but sadly, it only applies to the rune itself. So buffing this 942% amount here, and not to every one of our skills, too bad. That would have been insane, super OP. 200% to our ultimate, 200% to our weapon skills, 200% to everything, yeah right. Could you imagine? That would be game changing, but no, just to the QT rune here. So overall, pretty strong. This is our strongest DPS skill rune. so going up to around 3000% Ice Strike. A little bit less damage, even including the freeze effect, but if they're weak to water, obviously use this one. This will provide you the most damage, but when it comes to general usage, Overshadow is better, and when it comes to break counters, Squall is the way to go. Extinction will not see use, just because the effect right now isn't useful, at least in my eyes. Let me know if you disagree. I want to know your opinions, of course. Now, next up for these skill runes here, let's start with Compress. Just some basic damage, and also, when the final hit lands, the enemy's break gauge instantly decreases by 5%. Although that's not too much, it's pretty useful, I guess. If you fully land this skill, the target's break gauge decreases by 5%, though still not too much. 5% is 5%. It can make the difference, but overall it's pretty weak in that regard. But speaking of weak, Thunderstorm isn't too weak at all. Deals a lot of damage, especially when the target is in the break state. The damage of Thunderstorm increases by 160%, and when the user's attack hits an enemy that doesn't have a break gauge, it increases the damage of Thunderstorm by 120%. So overall, a very strong win skill rune when it comes to our QTE skills. Don't sleep on it, obviously. Deals nice damage. You do have to time it, of course, to get the maximum damage output, but overall, pretty strong. We have Surge as well. This is fire elemental damage. Although the base damage percentage isn't too high, it has a very interesting skill effect. So first off, when this skill hits a critical hit, one instance of Surge's 15% damage increase effect is applied, and when the user uses this skill, it activates an effect that increases the damage of Surge by 15%. So you're building up these stacks quite fast, 15%, 15%, 15%, stacking up to 20 times, although you probably won't get all those stacks off right away. The crits will help, of course, but it will take a little bit of time to build up all the way, getting that 300% bonus, which will be pretty darn nice. This is of course strictly based on how often you can get this activation off right here when you land the critical hit, so this one's not too bad as well. Fire elemental damage, you know when to use it. If the enemy is weak to fire, pop this one on. If they're weak to wind, pop this one on, and we have one more, surprise attack. This one is actually not too bad compared to the rest, probably one of the better ones we have. It provides weak break, already pretty good, probably similar to the instant 5% break gauge reduction we have, and also when the target is in the break state, Janu's damage dealt increases by 20% for 20 seconds. Again, you do have to time it, but still, this one's looking like the best one we have out of the bunch. Although the break state period is very limited, that happens before the target does rise back up after you break them. It's obviously not the easiest to sack all your damage off during that period, but still, 20% bonus damage to Janu, yeah, we cannot sleep on that. One of the better, if not best effects so far from all these QT skill runes. A 20% damage increase even during a limited time is amazing. So, let me just review those all over again with you. Starting from the top, Ice Strike. Use that when the enemy is weak to water. It deals the most amount of damage. We have Squall. This is good for dealing break damage. If you want to break the target fast, this is the one to use, of course. I feel like for BOT, a lot of us will be using this to break the target faster, of course. If you think about it, this basically acts like Pulverize, giving us bonus break effectiveness, so overall, this one should not be slept on. We have Extinction as well, not that good right now, you never know in the future, can be useful, but right now, I don't see any use. Overshadow, not too bad as well. It'll be good if you just want raw DPS, no break counter present, and also, the target is not weak to water. This will be your go-to, with the 200% skill damage increase. Now for the next 4, we have Compress. This one I don't think you should use, honestly. It's one of the worst out of the bunch in my opinion. When it comes to dealing more break, surprise attack is the way to go. Weak break, very similar to the 5%, and also, you get the damage increase on Janu, 20%. So in my opinion, this is the one to use for sure when the target doesn't have a break gauge. Just because Compress, yeah, 5% doesn't do as much as a 20% damage increase and also weak break on top. Now we have 2 left. First off, Surge. Use this when a target is weak to fire. The stacking effect is great, and also when it comes to Thunderstorm, easily. If the target is weak to wind, use this one. Especially if they have a break gauge and you just want to deal raw damage, this is the way to go, but still, anytime there's break involved, I still feel like surprise attack is the way to go. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, a lot of new skill runes. I did fuse up before these came out because I want to get my core skills up first, just because I had a feeling these weren't going to be too amazing, and yeah, they're okay. A lot of good effects, but no need to get them all the way to legendary. just because their damage is important, it's the skill effects that we need. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to support us on Netmarble Supporter Program. There is a reason why we're ranked number 1 and also why we have the most number of supporters. That's just because I make sure every single one of you get the codes I get as a creator to give out. No one is missed, trust me, everyone will get their codes. 2 so far in the season, 2 more coming out, so stay tuned. That we can get all these juicy rewards and you get all the latest SLA content. On that note, this is your Code King Zaf, signing out.